If you own a vacation home or a mountain cabin in West North Carolina, there is a good chance you've asked yourself this question at least once in the last year or two. Should I sell this or should I keep it? Should I just stay? Maybe the carrying costs have crept up. Maybe the rental income isn't what you hope. Maybe the insurance company, probably did get more expensive that week, or just in general. Or maybe the insurance got more expensive. It likely did. Or maybe you just haven't used it as much as you planned, or you're wondering whether the equity sitting in the property is working as hard as it could be somewhere else that you could use it. Today, we're going to help you answer that question, not by telling you what to do, but by giving you the honest financial framework to figure out what's the right move in your specific situation.
We're Suzanne and Ryan McAbee with the LivePlayWNC Real Estate Team. Our peak home selling system is built around one thing most agents skip, making sure you actually understand the numbers before you make any decisions.
Because here's what we see all the time. Homeowners in Henderson County are sitting in real equity, in many cases more than they realize. And they're not moving forward because the financial picture feels unclear. So today we're going to make it very clear. So let's walk through that math together.
Let's start with the number most vacation homeowners have never actually calculated. The true all-in carrying costs of their property. Not the mortgage payment, not just the insurance, but all of it. Every line added up, and let's look at it honestly.
Here's what a realistic carry cost breakdown looks like for a vacation cabin in Henderson County, somewhere between $350,000 to $500,000 range. We'll just use $425,000 as a working example here.
So the mortgage payment first. If you finance this property, even at a relatively favorable rate, a remaining balance of $250,000 at current rates running somewhere between $1,500 to $1,700 a month. If you bought during the pandemic peak with a higher balance, that number is higher. If you own it free and clear, skip this line. But stay with us because the other lines still matter.
Property taxes in Henderson County are at the effective rate of 0.64% on a $425,000 property. That runs approximately $2,270 a year, or about $227 a month.
Homeowners insurance. This line item has increased across the country, and in North Carolina, the Insurance Commission approved a 7.5% increase for insurers this year. So a vacation property in West North Carolina that was insuring for $1,800 to $2,400 a year pre-Helene may now be looking at $2,500 to $3,500 or more, depending on location, construction type, and carrier. Let's use $2,800 annually, or about $233 per month. And that number is likely heading higher as rate increases approved for 2025 and 2026 work through the system.
Moving on to maintenance, this is a line item that surprises people most consistently. A second home that isn't occupied full-time requires more maintenance and attention per square foot than a primary residence, not less. And even more so if it's used as a short-term rental. You have HVAC service contracts, pest control, lawn care, gutter cleaning, weatherproofing, occasional appliance replacement. And a consumer estimate for a well-maintained non-cabin is probably somewhere between 1 and 1.5% of the property value annually. So on a $425,000 property, that is $4,250 to $6,375 a year. Let's call it $425 to $530 a month.
If the property is operating as a short-term rental, then add property management fees, typically 20 to 30% of gross rental revenue. On $31,000 in gross annual revenue at 25%, that's $7,750 per year, or about $646 per month. Plus platform fees, restocking supplies, linens, and the occasional repair between guests. The real cost of operating a short-term rental professionally is higher than the management fee alone.
When you add all these line items together for a finance actively rented vacation cabin in Henderson County, at the mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and management, you're looking at a total carry cost in the range of $3,000 to $3,400 a month. And that's against gross rental revenue of roughly $2,580 a month, according to the Airbnb's website. That's the monthly carrying cost that exceeds gross rental income before you pay $1 in income tax on the revenue.
Now, some of these costs are tax deductible if the property is a legitimate rental. Depreciation, mortgage interest, management fees, and maintenance are all potentially deductible against rental income. This is exactly the conversation to have with your CPA. But the pre-tax cash flow picture for many vacation homeowners in this market is thinner than they had assumed when they bought, and getting thinner as insurance and property tax costs rise. Next year is another reassessment year for Henderson County, and all North Carolina counties follow a 4-year schedule for reassessment.
So here's where the decision framework comes in. We're going to walk you through 7 questions and answer them honestly, not the way you wish the answers were, but the way they actually are. And by the end, you'll have a much clearer sense of which direction makes sense for your situation.
Question 1. What is your actual net cash flow after all the carrying costs and taxes? Not the gross rental revenue, not the revenue minus the management fee, but the real net after every cost, including your CPA's calculation of tax liability on the income. If that number is positive and meaningful, if you're genuinely banking $500 or $1,000 a month after everything, that's a real financial argument for keeping the property. If that number is negative or barely positive, the property is costing you money to own, regardless of the revenue line.
Question 2, how often do you actually use that property? And be honest, if you bought it intending to use it 8 weeks a year, and you used it 3 weeks in the last 2 years, the lifestyle value isn't delivering what you planned. That's not a failure. Life just changes and circumstances change. but it's relevant information for your decision.
Question 3. What would your equity earn if it weren't in this property? A $200,000 equity position sitting in a vacation cabin is not a liquid asset. That same $200,000 invested conservatively could generate $8,000 to maybe $12,000 per year in passive income without any management burden, maintenance cold, or insurance renewal anxiety. That opportunity cost is real, and most vacation homeowners never calculate it.
Question 4 is, how has your relationship with the property changed since you bought it? Some vacation homeowners bought during the pandemic when having a mountain retreat felt essential and the property brought them genuine joy and an escape. 3 or 4 years later, the novelty has settled and the maintenance reality set in. If the property now generates more obligation than enjoyment, that's information worth kind of sitting with and thinking through.
Question 5. What is the insurance trajectory? This one is specific to West North Carolina post-Helene. The approved rate increase of 7.5% in June 2025 and another 7.5% in June 2026 reflect pre-Helene loss ratios. If you're already uncomfortable with your insurance costs, the direction of travel over the next 2 to 3 years is not favorable.
Question 6 is, what would selling add to the table? We covered this in detail in video 9 and 12, but the short version is that for most vacation homeowners who bought before 2022, the equity position is significant. What would that equity do for your life if it were liquid? And if the honest answer is not much different from what I have now, that's a data point toward keeping it. If the honest answer is, well, it would change what the next chapter looks like for us, then that's a data point toward selling.
Question number 7. Are you holding it because you love it or because you're afraid to let it go? This is the most honest question on the list and the one that most people get. There's a real phenomenon where people hold on to assets, homes, investments, possessions, not because keeping them makes financial sense, but because selling them feels like admitting something. Admitting that the original decision didn't work out the way you had planned. Admitting that this chapter is closing. If that's part of what's keeping you from selling, it's worth naming it honestly, because those feelings are real and understandable, but they're not a financial strategy.
Based on the conversations we've had with vacation homeowners across Henderson County, 2 fairly distinct profiles emerge.
Profile that makes sense to sell looks something like this. You bought maybe during the pandemic or shortly before. Your carrying costs have increased significantly since purchase. Your actual usage is maybe lower than you had planned. The rental income is positive on paper, but a sin after all those costs are netted out. You have a clear use for the equity, whether that's funding retirement, moving closer to family, or reducing financial complexity in your life. And when you imagine the property being sold, you feel more relief than grief.
The profile that makes sense to keep looks different. You own the property free and clear or with a very low remaining balance. Your carrying costs are generally manageable, and the property is performing well as a rental. And your occupancy is above the benchmark. You have strong reviews, a well-managed operation, use it regularly, and derive real lifestyle value from it. The equity position is not something you need to access in the foreseeable future, and the thought of selling generates more resistance than the thought of keeping it.
Most of the vacation homeowners we've worked with in Henderson County land closer to the first profile than the second. Not because Western North Carolina isn't a great place to own a vacation property, it is, but because the carrying cost reality, the insurance trajectory, and the opportunity cost of the equity combine to make a sell decision the financially stronger one in most cases. That's an honest assessment, but not a sales pitch.
But if you lay it clearly in the second profile, if the numbers work, lifestyle value is real, and the equity isn't needed anywhere else, keeping it may well be the right call. We'll tell you that too.
If you've worked through the framework and you're leaning towards selling, here's what the process looks like in practical terms, specifically for a vacation or a second property in Western North Carolina.
The first step, before you do anything else, is a conversation with your CPA. As we covered in video 9, the tax treatment of a vacation home sale is majorly different than a primary residence sale because of capital gains tax. Understanding that exposure before you set a price or timeline is really essential, not something to figure out after you're gone on the contract.
The second step is understanding your current market value. Vacation properties in West North Carolina are not served well by Zestimate estimate. The view, premium, lot characteristics, rental history, and mountain-specific features require a local comparative market analysis. That's something that we do as part of our initial consultation.
And honestly, it'd be valued on rental history more so than that also. The third piece is timing. As we mentioned in video 9, none properties in West North Carolina show and sell best in late spring through early fall. That's April to October. Listing a mountain cabin in January is not impossible, but listing it when Henderson County is at its most visually compelling does give you access to buyers who actively want that experience firsthand.
And if the property has a strong rental history, good occupancy numbers, strong reviews on Airbnb or VRBO, documented annual review, that history is a marketing asset that we incorporate directly into the listing strategy. The right buyer for that property may be an investor or a buyer who plans to continue renting it, and they will pay a premium for a property that comes with a proven income track record.
So here's the bottom line. The seller key decision for a Western Carolina vacation property is generally individual. It really depends on your carrying costs, your specific usage, your equity position, your tax situation, and what the next chapter looks like for you. There's no universal right answer.
What we can tell you is that most of the vacation homeowners we've worked with who went through this framework honestly, who looked at the real numbers rather than the ones they wish were true, found that the decision became much clearer for them once they did. And the ones who decided to sell almost universally said the same thing that other clients say. They wish they had the conversations there.
So if you own a vacation property in West North Carolina and you've been going back and forth on this question, we'd love to help you work through it. Pull your current market value, walk through the carry cost picture, and help you think through the framework we covered today.
The link below takes you to our consultation calendar. No pressure, no agenda, just a clear, honest look at your numbers. Thanks for watching, and we'll help guide you through your path to sold.